right, Ken and I just landed in Nashville. It's 25 degrees out, it's cold. We're hungry, so I hit up my good friend Sean Brock, who's a world-renowned chef. Episodes ago, we went to his cool casual burger joint, Joyland in Nashville, and he was nice enough to get us a table tonight at his flagship restaurant, Audrey. So thank you, Sean. He's a fellow guitar geek, and unfortunately, he's under the weather, so I won't be able to see him this trip, but we will next time. So we're gonna get a good meal, get some rest, and start guitars tomorrow.
This meal is every bit as delicious as you're imagining right now, with each dish completely unique in flavor and perfectly complementing the rest of the table. After dinner, we got a quick tour of the upstairs restaurant June, as well as a peek at the lab where they experiment with different flavors and techniques. There's also a beautiful bar upstairs that has a vinyl DJ area, and the library holds an incredible amount of culinary knowledge. It was the perfect way to start an extremely short trip wedged between two major winter storms.
All right, second day in Nashville. Really fun morning. Keith Urban picked us up from the hotel, went and checked out his new studio along with a bunch of gear, and more of that down the line in maybe another video. But got back here, had a little lunch, and now we're going over to my friend Will Gregg's place. Will's a good buddy of mine who's bought a lot of cool guitars, one really great guitar recently, and he's got an interesting concept that I want to show you guys. I think we could kick out of, so let's go check it out. All right, I'm here with my good buddy, Will Gregg. We're at his amazing concept called Barry's Accent Shop. I've known Will for years, obviously started with guitars, but he's got one of the coolest recording studios on the planet. And this is kind of his new deal, which this is my first time walking in, and it's like all things that we love. But yeah, man, how long has this been a thing?
About a year now.
Okay, and what's like the initial vision? I remember you reaching out a while ago and, you wanna hang some guitars in Nashville?
Yeah.
Did you know you were gonna get into like motorcycles, old trucks?
Well, it just kind of goes with the aesthetic of rock and roll.
Boys and
Americana.
toys.
Exactly, exactly. We don't want to admit that they're all just toys.
Yeah.
But
So you said you picked these up from like one collector that had, what, 7 or 8 cool old motorcycles?
Yep.
Panheads hanging around?
Yeah, so we're fixing them up and flipping them for whoever's interested.
Awesome, so you will be selling them out of here?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
And is the truck from the same guy, or what's the deal?
Truck actually used to belong to Joe Bonamassa.
Oh, God, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Yeah, so he fixed it all up. I got it from him about 2 years ago.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's all just part of the aesthetic.
Yeah, this was
now.
his guitar safari car for a while.
Yeah, this thing rips.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. All right, we'll have to send a picture to Joe. Let me drive it and say I bought it. All right, so you've got some EVH here, obviously. You've got some R9s, I assume, right?
Yeah. Old Gretsch anniversary there too.
Yeah, that's an old one, right?
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah, with the cool. Did you put this on or did it have that?
It had that.
So there is something special about vintage decals. They're so different than the new ones.
Really?
We were just talking about Eric Daw, who does pinup customs, or Eric Daw Customs. He was our guitar tech for 16 years, and he got me hip to these. He just like haunt eBay looking for vintage 50s decals, so I started collecting them too. So if you're ever bored and looking for more fun stuff to get addicted to, vintage decals from the 50s, Eric Daw's buying them all up. But if you get them,
they don't make anything like they used
to,
you know?
I gotta show you guys one of the coolest Strats I've ever had. It's a guitar that was featured in the Galaxy of the Strats. Dude, let's go check it out. It's like...
So this is our little VIP area if you want to check out amps, jam out.
God.
Got an old Tweed Twin right there.
I was gonna say, like, where'd you find that, man?
That was, I got that from Rumble Seed actually about 10 years ago.
So
used to belong
low
to
powered,
Bukovac.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it belonged to Tom Bukovac back in the day.
This had a little bit of a segment when we were kind of like still shell-shocked that it even existed. As you'll see, the recording studio he has and everything, it's in the right home, but. Daphne Blue with a stock tortoise guard. It's also like super lightweight. I mean, that's like the most ideal neck. I wish I had the book on me too. I'm just gonna send it out to Will here pretty soon, but it's like big spread on this specific guitar. And you know, you're flipping through it and you see all the blues and the regular, you know, golds. And I mean, there's a lot of eye-catching things, but I always looked at this as kind of like a double custom because of the torque guard, because of this color. And it actually looks really great in the book. But in person, man, like just the checking of this, I love this color. It's a super faded kind of pastel vibe. We were on the Guitar V and we of course had picked up some amps, so we're like running through a generator jamming on this. We're like, holy shit, man, this is the real deal. But what else you got, man? I'm looking at, these look like fairly modern cases. Do you have anything crazy? I mean,
these are just the cases for the stuff downstairs. But
what's this?
I can, there's a 66 P bass in there, refinished.
Damn, who did the refin? Do you know? Come on.
Some guy on drugs back in the day. Apparently that was on the road with the band that opened for Skinner in the 70s.
It looks like it, man.
Yeah, right?
It looks like the cigarette stain on their tour bus couch or something.
J-bass pickup in there.
Yep.
Active circuit. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, right? Yeah. This is so cool, man. Are you keeping this or is this okay. If you ever sell this, will you consider me on this?
Yeah, sure,
dude,
man.
This is like too damn cool.
It's a very divisive bass.
I mean,
people either think it's the coolest thing or the ugliest thing they've ever seen.
Oh, dude, this is amazing. And thank you so much, dude, for
dude,
making
thank
time,
you.
man.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Who did all the art and wallpaper? Did you just throw that up?
The guy who used to be in here is a rapper called Yellow Wolf.
Oh yeah.
He was going to be running a tattoo shop and merch shop out of here right before COVID started. So like the first things you couldn't do. Yeah. So he had to shut down. Yeah.
Made it back. This is the Layman Drug Company recording studio. I was here maybe 6 years ago and it blew my mind, so we just had to do a quick stop. It's an old pharmacy from the 1890s that was here forever. It lay dormant for about 20 years out of business after a long life, and Will purchased it in 2015 and kept it very true to, you know, the original aesthetic and built a remarkable, like, state-of-the-art studio upstairs, which I'll show you. It's like, it's one of the coolest visual places, and you'll see why, but a lot of people are doing like video shoots here and forget it's like an incredible tracking room. But yeah, I mean, Will definitely has like a style, old cool standalone brick buildings down, you know, right outside of downtown Nashville. And yeah, anyways, I was excited to come back to this place. Like I said, we walked in here after like a Nashville NAMM years ago, and I was like, what? This exists? But I'll show you the rest. The studio has the super cool Tree audio console, which is very much kind of old RCA, you know, almost looks like UA stuff, but EMI style console. Amazing. Yeah, just too cool. Had to show you guys. We were 5 minutes away from it. I love this place. I want to spend my life in this room. All right, Nashville, Tennessee at Pine Box Studios with John Osborne, my favorite fucking dude on the planet, man. Here once again, looking at the plethora of equipment here, and decided to send us home with a couple things.
Yeah.
Any rhyme or reason for it, or
well, Exhibit A, this stuff is very expensive, so I decided, you know, to parlay my favorite thing to my new favorite thing. This is my ex-girlfriend. This is my new girlfriend. So I mean, what better person to bestow these guitars on than to Trevor and all the folks at Emerald City. So, but this is one of my early favorite purchases I've ever made. I always wanted a Blackguard, and I played a whole bunch of them right around the time where I could start to afford one, and I could never pull the trigger, and I played this one and immediately fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite guitars I've ever owned. It hurts physically to see this go, but a new chapter must begin.
We'll make lemonade out of it, man. Well, in both these, there's one more that we have room for on the plane, and we did a video with John about a year ago, I think last February, and it was this whole deal about taking his collection and deciding to put it into this studio and not looking back, and he kept two pieces that we talked about in the studio, one of which is this Blackguard Tele, and the other, he still needs some PAFs. We took the burst. Here we go.
Yeah, the 59 345, all legit, wired from mono and refretted, so it's ready to go, ready to rock. I mean, these are some of the best sounding PAFs I've ever owned. Not that I've owned a lot, but these are some of the better ones I've ever owned. This has been through a bunch of really cool people. I think this was owned by Jeff Garland.
Yeah,
before
so
me.
Jeff had sold it and regretted selling it,
Yeah.
which we're gonna call you Jeff after this. But,
I will just sell it, and I will also regret selling it.
yeah, exactly. So maybe it should just be ping pong back and forth. But I'm gonna be the vessel for a good game of ping pong. You obviously have Teles, the one that you always have on stage, obviously, which I still don't know what that is. I know it's got the cool custom
I don't
pick.
know what that is, to be honest with
Who
you.
did the pick guard? Who did
That plank.
Okay, I was wondering.
The first old guitar I ever bought was this 1968 Tele that the body was all ratted out, and it was just a neck and a body. But I was like $2,000 at the time. It was like all the money I had, and I traded like, I don't know, like a 70s twin reverb and like a weird, everything I owned, I was like, I want the guitar. But I kept the neck because it's my favorite neck of all time. And then I just put it together on our second record, Port St. Joe. I had played a lot of bead bender on that guitar, a friend of mine. Let me borrow his, so I got the bead bender in here. This is an aftermarket body. It's a matinee bead bender, which I love. Kind of some Lawler things, I don't really know, but this is the one. If I had to keep one, Desert Island, it would be this guitar.
Can I see this thing, dude?
Oh, hell yeah,
I've never held this guitar. No.
Dude, feel that neck, man. It's like glass.
Damn,
it's like,
dude.
It is so smooth.
Gee, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's got all the gunk you could ever want on it.
Holy shit, can feel that.
Dude, it's wild. It is like the smoothest neck that you'll ever feel.
Put this thing down. Whoa.
Yeah, it literally,
bottom.
that's
And it's kind of one of those guitars where, you know how it is, it's like a favorite pair of jeans. Like whenever I pick that guitar up, even if it's not technically right for the song, I know how to play it to make it work, and I can play with my eyes closed, I know where everything is.
Yeah.
It just always works. It's funky, you know, the only thing really vintage on it is the neck, which is kind of the most important part, I think, when it comes to specifically, well, any guitar, but Teles and Fenders. And also, not a lot of people do this, but man, Teles all day, dude, love Teles. I think Teles are perfect, with one exception. I'm not a fan of a Tele pickup selector, because the ergonomic side of it is you're playing this way and then you have to flip it this way, and I'm always hitting the barrel, I'm flicking it off, and it's going in the audience, and then you have this little piece of metal sticking out and I'm cutting myself. I always just loved Gibsons because you could, or this style, because you could just literally touch it and the spring pushes it right in the middle. So I love that change. It's kind of Frankenstein.
yeah, I love it.
But it's
man.
still very much a Tele, you know. But
Yeah.
this is.
So what about 345, 335? Are you just not using that model that much, or do you have like
I
a
am,
good-
man. I still have my 60 somewhere.
Oh,
I
okay.
have my 60 down there,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is another Desert Island guitar. It's this cherry one. I think it's a refin. But this is kind of my Desert Island. This is like my other Gibson. It's got PAFs in it. I've played this all over the place. It's been refinned, so I'm not afraid to take it out. Has seen the world. And then that one's a 65. So that gives me the, you know, the Bigsby vibe. You know how it is.
Yeah, move and groove, man.
Move and groove, dude. But I think if I had to have 2 guitars, it would be that Tele and this 345 or 335. It's a little bit thinner in the neck, but it's not too bad. It's not the worst. It's a 60, you know.
Damn, it's light.
Really light. Those pickups rip, dude. They rip. Yeah, love it. Also, I'm telling you, man, the switch, just like, boop, middle pickup. But anyway, it hurts me to see these go, but...
Find a good home, we'll get you some money. They'll be available at the shop. Dude, appreciate you so much.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, man. So we were really close to Mount Juliet, and 2 of my really close friends just moved here. One of which is Noah Gunderson, who's a prolific songwriter and musician from Seattle. He's actually out on tour right now. But his wife, Misha, is like a creative Swiss Army knife. She's amazing. She does incredible art, pottery. She's a tattoo artist. I have a lot of her art at our house. We have a bunch of cool like custom coffee mugs and stuff, but man, she's just always doing really cool stuff. Noah's got some great guitars here that are special to me, so I want to highlight Misha and show you some cool guitars Noah's picked up over the years. Oh my gosh, it's like surreal to be here. I'm not in Washington, you know? It's crazy.
No, you're not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm already like, as you can see, there's art everywhere. I assume that you've done pretty much everything on the walls.
Mostly, yeah.
For instance.
Yeah, this is the one. You have the original of this one.
Before Ken and I left to Nashville, I was like, you gotta see this thing. It's like a massive original that we had a perfect place for, but.
I think it's like 6 feet by 4 feet or something crazy.
It's the biggest package I've ever had show up through FedEx to my house.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome, but thank you so much for having us. I know it's kind of late. We were, 15, 20 minutes away, and it was like, we gotta go see Misha.
I'm so happy you're here.
There's like a closet filled with guitars, but a few out here that are like really special to me. One of which I was hoping to see. I realized that he took on tour a really awesome 56, 57 J45 that he got for me a while ago. That is like just one of the best sounding Gibson acoustics I've ever heard. But all 3 of these have a cool story, and I wanted to tell you guys about them. So I had heard about Noah, like growing up in Seattle, he was like light years ahead of all songwriters in that area. So his name was kind of echoed around a lot. We had never met, and I had listened to this record that he had just put out because he was getting some, like it was his first full length, I believe, called Ledges. So like the next day that record came in, he popped in the shop, and he'd been there before, whatever, like ships at night or just didn't ever connect. But he came in, and I'm like, dude, like, I just heard your record, it blew my mind. And kind of to celebrate, he picked up this guitar. It's a Magnetone Tornado, which I really just feel like set the tone for our guitar journey together. It's funky as hell. At the time it was kind of like leaning into more like the Jack White stuff, not your traditional Strat or Tele. He had that stuff. But when he picked this guitar up, I was like, all right, I like this guy. I haven't seen this guitar actually in person since I sold to Noah. The first day we kind of shook hands, and I'd kind of consider him a friend after that. We were, he's a brother now. So that guitar is very special. I think he purposely left this one out for me to see, so thank you, Noah. So this is an interesting one. I got from Ryan Lerman on one of the Guitar Vs, and it's a folk singer that somebody stripped that kind of hideous pickguard off, put one pickguard on it. These have the 2-inch nut width, which gives you a little bit more string spacing. They're just interesting guitars. I overpaid for this guitar because it sounded so good. And I was with my old man on the trip, and we were going, God, we need that guitar. It sounds so cool. Let's buy it and let's just keep it in the family. My dad likes old Gibsons, and so we brought it back to the shop, and he was gonna take it home and just keep it. Then Noah came in and played this guitar and was like, holy shit, dude, like what's the deal with this? And I had to call Big Boone up and be like, dude, I know we're gonna keep this. It's the Ryan Lerman folk singer, but Noah wants it. And So they worked out some deal to get Noah this guitar. So it's still kind of in the family. It is in the family, but that was cool and they worked out. All right, lastly, you've heard me talk about these before. I'm obsessed with these Martin 518s. Sold a couple to Mayer, and they're these little student-sized Martins that, to me, are just unbelievable to see Martin quality and snack size. And I had sold a couple like 10 years ago. I think John bought a couple from me, and I was like, man, like the next one I get, I'm keeping. So I looked for a long time and kind of waited for a couple to come in. In 1 week, I got two 1954 518s. So I sent one out to Plank, my buddy out here actually, to do a custom pick guard just to have fun with it. And then this one I was gonna keep as well and just keep it on the Guitar V, but I was like, I'm not selling these. And I had it in the front of the shop. Everybody kept on asking me. I was like, nope, not letting it go, not letting it go. Keeping this one. And of course, Noah Gunderson pops in the shop and he's asking about it. I'm like, tell him this whole long, lengthy thing. This was also like the week that Noah was moving to Nashville. I thought it'd be an appropriate parting gift to be in this house for not only him, but Misha. So this is a little housewarming present. So if you saw this guitar and I told you I'm not selling it, you're seeing this video. I didn't sell it, passed it on to somebody that's gonna actually make music on it. So there you go, Martin 518. This is a good room, you can feel it. The art that Misha's making, the music that Noah's making, this house, it's a tangible thing. So we'll get into the tattoo stuff because I want to go to the shop tomorrow. I know you're gonna be there.
Please.
We missed but show me kind of like where your workspace is here. I mean, I know you're pumping stuff out all the time. And
This is one of my first paintings here that I did really long time ago.
have you always been, painting, drawing, and all that?
Yeah.
I feel like you catch on to things really, really quick. So did you start like a week ago? Or?
No. No, I've been probably painting the longest, yeah. Our studio's upstairs, but I could take you into, you wanna go there first?
I wanna see the art
Let's do
studio,
the art
yeah. So the piece that I had, it's a really cool Dolly Parton piece. Obviously following her on Instagram, I saw her as she was putting this together, and my wife and I were just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Should we get a little one, a print? And we happen to have space for a gigantic painting, and it's gracing our home and will forever, but it was all started in this little room.
This little messy room right here.
What's the story on this?
This is a crate, okay, so this I got when I first moved here. So there's an antique dealer that lives maybe 4 minutes away. This is an old welder's drafting table. So I got my easel from him, from France. This is from the UK, and it's so sick because it has these cast iron legs on it. But you can see sort of the trail it's come from here.
So yeah, where are you drawing your inspiration? Because you're doing Western, you're doing stuff, it's like...
Well, you have to do the
Western.
Western. Yeah, I do love the Renaissance. I feel like the Western is just who I am. Like, I have to do that.
Yeah.
This stuff is just sexy, but like the Renaissance-y stuff back here, like kind of the more nightmare-y stuff here. I just have nightmares. So that's literally all there is to that. I'm from Seattle, but like my whole story is like my mom and I escaped in the night to Las Vegas with her twin sister. And that was sort of my story. So I think I've had nightmares since I was a little kid, and so I've always painted them out, and it's like, I'm like the happiest fucking person because of it, I think.
Yeah.
Luckily, my husband and I have a good thing because he's on tour, or he's like making an album, or he's producing something, so he's never here. But like, if he is home, it's like, let me work. I'm in the studio all day. I listen to classical music or punk rock.
And dogs are probably hanging up here too.
Dogs are hanging right here
man.
by my side.
So can we get into...
I'm so happy.
Oh,
you're
come on,
here.
man. Can we check out where you do all the ceramics and...
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's.
All right.
I'll follow you.
Yep.
This is like the worst place to be if you have ADD, because I keep on getting like sidetracked. But Misha showed me this vintage trench coat biker jacket that she found like classical Renaissance patches for.
Check out this thing, look.
Dude.
I got my red right hand on there. But instead of like punk rock patches, I got some fine art on there. So look at my scorpion. So I epoxy scorpions.
I want one.
Do you want a belt buckle? I also make belt buckles.
So I've got like this kind of small espresso cups that are cool custom cowboy prints on them.
These are prototypes. These plates are prototypes here for a place called St. Vito's Focacceria in Nashville.
Cool.
You have to go. I'm telling you, it's so good.
Well,
like what an honor to make him plates, like no problem. I want to make him a couple different ones so he can choose from whatever his vibe is. This is where the focaccia is going to sit on. And then these are where his silverware is going to sit on the tables. I want to give him options. Hard work, man. It's also meditative, you know. We're super creative in this house. We inspire each other. It's what our whole marriage is built off of, you know.
So cool.
I think we're always working, but we love what we do, so I can make 70 plates. I'd be fucking honored to make 70 plates.
We're gonna pop by the tattoo shop tomorrow. What's the tattoo shop called?
Outlier.
Outlier, that's right.
Right by the airport, Donaldson Pike, Nashville, Outlier Tattoo. I can do it.
What can I do to help for you letting us take over? Noah can do the rest. I'll just give him shit and say, I put 2 bags in there. All right,
You do your part.
I think we can at least shut this now. Cool. All right, so we just had an awesome breakfast at Sweet Milk, which was so good. I'm like falling asleep. It was incredible. But this is a short trip, and we got to go hang out with Misha last night over at her place. But we want to check out the shop that she's working at called Outlier. And I know this is probably an insult to what her capability is as a tattoo artist, but I just found out my wife and I have another baby girl, so I'm gonna get a little tattoo that's themed around that before we jump on a plane in a couple hours. So yeah, let's check this place out. All right, I'm with Jake Oman, who owns Outlier Tattoo in Nashville. Man, thank you so much for having us,
thanks
dude.
for coming. Appreciate
so
it.
give me the quick, first off, you're surrounded by like amazing food. This has to be a tough place to work, but that's probably not the reason you picked this place or started this place. What's the background on it?
Yeah, actually, like, this is the Donaldson area, real close to the airport, about 10 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
I actually live 3 minutes down the road. I got tired of working across town and passed this complex and saw these windows, and it was just like, this is perfect. I love this little complex, how it's sort of like a campus, you know what I mean? We got to know everybody in the area, and it's a cool little vibe over here. We really enjoy it.
Exude a good energy. I mean, you know, tattoo shops can be crazy and scary, and you know, that's cool too, but this place is like clean, but it's got a lot of character, man.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
is this the first shop you've owned?
Yeah. I've actually been tattooing in Nashville for a little over 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I never thought about opening a shop, but again, I just passed the place, and it was meant to be.
How long you been in business?
Only like 5 or 6 months. Like we literally built it from the ground up. It was gravel in there, gravel and studs, and then we had to build the whole thing. That took like 7 months or so, and now it's been about 5 or 6 we've been open.
Well, it's an awesome place, dude. We're getting a little souvenir before we head to the airport, which is conveniently close, so we're gonna have to make it a tradition, man. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Check out Outlier Tattoo in Nashville. All right, thank you, Misha Gunderson, for a little girl dad tattoo before we head to the airport. Let's get these guitars up.